Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing an update on my yield farming and how it's going. Now I'm only going to be showing you one of my wallets. I do have a few other wallets on other chains such as Polygon and Sui and a couple of others, but we're going to be showing you on my native MetaMask DEX today my yield farming strategy, my yield farming position, that's earning me a passive income right now during this cycle. So before we get into it, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and be very careful about what you're investing in crypto and DeFi because it is the riskiest stuff in the world. With that said, let's jump into it. And I have just added $3,500 to a new pool, which I will show you in this video as well, which is nice. Allowing another $3,500 to go to work for me and collect more crypto. So let's jump into this. Now, the reason I bring you to CoinGecko is because obviously the market's going pretty crazy right now. We're in a nice little pump with the whole cycle kind of moving, which is nice. Now, obviously, Bitcoin and Ether down today, but if we take a look over like the last 7 days, Bitcoin's over 50K, Ethereum touched 3K yesterday, and everything is kind of just up on the whole, right, over the past couple of weeks. So how does this work? Well, essentially, you're going ahead and you're using Uniswap to go ahead and make fees, right? So how it works is essentially when you go ahead and make a swap on Uniswap, you pay a fee, right? Right here, this fee, this 1.15% here. This is the fees that we're earning. So we're providing liquidity for both USDC and Ethereum, in this case anyway, that I've shown you here. And we're paying, and whenever people swap this, they pay a 0.15% fee to swap that. And then those fees go to people that are providing liquidity, okay? So how it works, if we go over to the pools and I show you my new pool that I just went ahead and gone into, which is Ethereum to USDC, literally went into it less than 5 minutes ago. You can see we're providing $3,500 and we can see we've earned 5 cents already within the last less than 5 minutes by doing literally nothing other than click start record. Actually, I literally put this in and then started recording. So I've been recording for 2 minutes now. So in 2 minutes, we've made 5 cents, almost 6 cents, literally just by supplying this liquidity. So let's show you how it works. So if we go over, I use this nice tool called Apeture Finance, which essentially is a tool to manage all of your liquidity, right? So this is the pool that I just went into. Let's give this a refresh and let's move my screen over just so you can see things a little bit more here. You can see we've made almost 7 cents on this. So if we open up this, you can see that we are supplying liquidity. Let's move this over a little bit more. We're supplying liquidity between Ethereum, $2,600 and $3,182, the price of Ethereum, right? So we have 0.576 Ethereum, which is 48% of the pool, and we have 1,700 USDC, which is 52% of the pool. And then whenever I want, I just come in here and collect fees and then either cash it out and pay the bills, or I can go ahead and claim this, collect the fees, hold this Ethereum, or convert it into other coins that I want to hold for the bull market and be sitting on a nice portfolio. So there's a few ways to manage this, right? So let's show you this other pool that I'm in then on ARB. I am in a Arbitrum and USDC pool, which I have been in for a good couple of months now, which is probably my best pool, providing the most amount of fees at the moment. I've only not claimed, this has made about $115 in a couple days. I think literally in maybe 3 days. So this has been one of the better pools for me on the chain overall. So you can see we're providing 1,500 ARB and 4,200 USDC, and this is the price range. We have it between 154 and 207. So that is the Arbitrum pools. We have, what's that? Just almost 11,000 just on Arbitrum. Now, if we switch to all chains, you can see my positions here on Uniswap. So let's start from the bottom. So we have an AVAX. Let's switch the network here so let's pull it up. So we're supplying AVAX or wrapped AVAX and USDC. There's only $800 in here, but we've gained $12 in fees over the past 3 days. And again, this is my range here, and I'll show you over on. So if we click rebalance, I'm not going to rebalance, but you can see sort of how I'm doing this. So right now we have a pretty wide gap between 3.5% on the negative side. So what happens if it hits my lower bracket, my minimum amount here, it will sell everything and convert it into AVAX. Now, if it goes above my maximum line, which is over $44, it will sell it and go into USDC. And the reason for that is because we're supplying liquidity between these ranges. So as long as AVAX sits between $35 and $44, I will continue earning fees every time there's a swap on Uniswap of those pairs. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Next one is Ethereum to USDC on the base network. We have $4,200 in here. And this is how we're kind of positioned for the ranges. And again, we've made $48 over the past 3 days in this one. Okay, we have a Matic to USDC pool. Okay, I think we're gonna have to do this automatically. Let's go and swap over to the Polygon network here. So we're gonna go over to Matic, and yep. So we can see if we take a look at this again, we've got about $1,000 in here, supplying between 0.81 and 103, and we've made $11 over the past 24 hours. And we have an optimism pool, which again is doing pretty well. We've got $1,800 in here, supplying between 340 and 436 almost. And we made $51 over the past 3 days. And then we have the R pool, which I have showed you, and then the other R pool, which I have showed you. So this is just a liquidity management tool called Apeture Finance. Now, if you go over to Uniswap, okay, you can see all of your pools in here. So we want to connect to Optimism and click on MetaMask. Then you can see all of your pools open directly on Uniswap, which you can just see, you know, the liquidity, if you're in range or not, if you're basically earning fees, and the amount of unclaimed fees you have is $53 here. So let's swap back over to the Arbitrum network and see how this pool's doing. This ETH pool's doing. Arbitrum to USDC. Sorry, that's my other pool. We want to take a look at this one. So we've made 23 cents so far on this one. We've been in it for like 7 minutes, which isn't bad. I mean, this is literally just passive income. I don't touch this. I just come in and claim fees once a week, and it's something that works in the background. So I would say we're probably farming with something like 25 or 30K at the moment between all of the dexes I have on all the networks. Now I am also farming on, over on Solana, on Orca. I have a Sol pool on there, which is probably making like $20 a week, something like that. So not too bad here. I mean, if we take a look and go over to Apeture and we give this a refresh for all chains and we calculate how many fees we've earned over the past, if we go over to show all chains, which isn't completely accurate because again, this doesn't update real time like Uniswap does for the fees. But let's calculate to see how much we've made here so far over the last 3 days. So let's round up as well. So 12.46 on the fees for there, $49.13. We got 11.1 over here. We got $52 on here. We got 115.82 on here. And let's call this 30 cents. So we have made $240 over the past 3 days. So if we divide that by 3, that's about $80 a day. If we divide that by 24, that's $3 an hour just by doing nothing, right? Or $80 a day roughly. Again, just by doing absolutely nothing. So $3 grand a month by, again, passively literally just collecting, you know, using some of my stable coins to go ahead and enter some of these positions, which are all blue chip, by the way. You know, we're farming AVAX, Ethereum, Matic, Optimism, Arbitrum, and Ethereum. Like, these are all blue chip coins providing me passive income. You know, this isn't something like an ROI dApp, which again, I have nothing against. I make videos on those and I do still enter ROI dApps. But this is something that I just leave in the background, that I'm constantly adding money to these positions and new positions to earn me a passive income during whilst we have these spikes where there's high volatility and high liquidity in the market. Okay, the last 24-hour trading volume is $100 million. Now, if you go over to DeFi Llama, this is a pretty good tool to have a look at volume to see how things are moving. So you can see the volume over the past, you know, recent. Actually, you can't see this. That's helpful. You can see the volume over the last few days has been going up. There has been a hell of a lot of volume recently over the past few days. So you can see kind of how that moves and how that affects our fees, right? The more volume there is, the more people swapping between different tokens that you're in, obviously the more money you are going to make in fees because, of course, you're banking on volume. So how do you pick these pools? Well, there's a few things you can do, right? You can, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but the way to pick these pools, in my opinion, is to use blue chip tokens in a market that's doing well. Now, will this hold up during a bear market? We haven't seen Uniswap V3 pools in a bear market yet. So the answer to that is no one knows. No one will know until we hit that. But on days where the market is down, does it still work? Yes. However, you're just not making as many fees as you are when the market's up. So that is my thoughts on that. But you can come over here and you can take a look at yields, okay? And you can see what's kind of providing best. You can go over to stablecoin pools. You can take a look at all of these different things over here. And I would recommend definitely taking a look at DeFi Llama just to kind of have a look to see how things are actually doing, especially in terms of TVL. Volume over the past 24 hours is pretty important. And yeah, you can come over here and take a look at top protocols even, right? And you can see how things are moving on different chains, which is good to have a look at the yields that you can potentially earn on these. Now, another thing to look at is something like Poolfish. Okay. Now, Poolfish is a tool where it shows you different pools. Now, just keep in mind that these estimated fees over the last day are only estimated. It's not a guaranteed sort of thing, and you can take a look at different chains and you can pick the different chain that you want to kind of farm on, and you can see the different pools. I think there is an API issue with Optimism at the moment on here. But yeah, definitely take a look. I mean, if you take a look at some of these, you can go into some of these you can provide liquidity for meme coins, and you can earn a lot because if people are moving a lot of money between them, or there's a new token that's kicking off on a new chain, then if there's a lot of swaps between them and there's not too much liquidity, like there's only 1 million TVL on this one, you're going to make a decent chunk of money. So there's some pools that you can jump in. I did jump into a pool a while ago. I think it was Ramses and Ethereum, maybe something like that. And I was doing like $10 a day on maybe like $500, which is pretty good in terms of passive income with that low amount. But that was a super risky pool, and it went out of range a few times because obviously it's a higher volatile pool. So it depends how you want to play it. If you want to play it super safe, then you can go into similar pools to what I'm in with blue chips. Now, again, we're not going to make as much in these because they are blue chips and they are safer. But if you want to go into something more risky with two pairs, and you want to take a look at two pairs, maybe one of them is a super risky new meme coin that's come around recently. Again, that's going to be more risky and you're more prone to go out of range. But yeah, you're going to make more money. So how do you manage this then? Well, what happens if you go out of range? So if you do go out of range, the best thing is to just leave it and not rebalance. Yes, you're not going to be making any fees, but there's something called impermanent loss. So if you go into this pool, let's say I just put $3,400. In fact, let's go over here and have a look because it updates real time, right? So I put in $3,400 into this pool. Now, if it drops below either one of my ranges, $2,600 per ETH or $3,100 per ETH, I am going to have impermanent loss. Now, of course, if it goes over the max price, I will have a gain because my Ethereum would have gained value. But if it goes below and I still have this Ethereum, it's going to sell it and convert it, right? So I would have lost however much percentage this is between the current price of ETH, 10% or so, which is going to be like $350 or whatever. So if you want to look at this dollar amount and not lock in impermanent loss, don't rebalance because you're going to lock in that loss and your dollar amount will be less. So if you're going to do that, then you're banking on the fees that you're being paid are higher than that impermanent loss, which I wouldn't really mess around with. So set a range that you're happy with, do some technical analysis, and keep an eye on your range and don't rebalance is the key, or rebalance as little as possible. Okay, so like this one here, I think I put like 7.2k in initially, but or maybe it was like even 7,500, but because I've made like $3,000 in fees, I'm way in profit overall in this pool. But to be honest, I'm looking at more for cash flow right now versus the liquidity amount. Yes, of course, this dollar amount matters because you don't want your initial investment going down massively. But if you're looking for cash flow, then, long term, if you're playing this as a long term game, then you're not to be honest, like if this loses a couple $100 every month or so, but you're earning like $500-600 a month in fees, then it does outweigh, if that makes sense. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do some more videos on these on investing in these pools, on yield farming, because it's pretty interesting. I've recently got into it a couple of months ago, and it's one of my main earners right now, safe main earners in DeFi anyway. So yes, the dApps and the passive income protocols and the ROI dApps are great, and I still enjoy them because, for me personally anyway, it's an in and out game. Like there was one I covered a couple of days ago called Ocean Waves. I've made profit on that, and I'll roll those profits into my long-term passive income portfolio, which is yield farming. So there's a lot you can do, and a lot of different strategies which I may go ahead and cover on the channel. But let me know if you want more videos like this. Apologies, it's been a long video, but I just kind of wanted to get this across because there's a lot of ways to make money right now, and yield farming is one of them. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the video. If you have enjoyed, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you are new, and let me know down below what you think of yield farming. Are you in these V3 pools? Let me know, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.